and can commit to them that he is not done yet. He has more work to do, and he looks forward to working with them on continuing to build the economy back better, work to increase American competitiveness at home, and have a conversation with them. He'll take their questions as well.
But does he expect to get into the field where naturally I would assume that's going to come up?
It may. We'll see. I'm sure if they have questions about it, I'm sure he's happy to discuss it with them.
And then
Yeah,
just
go ahead.
lastly, we expect that there's going to be a number of judicial nominations coming soon. Can you give us an update on that? And secondly, when will we hear more about the Bob Bauer commission and what will come from that?
I don't have. Soon there will be judicial nominations. I don't have a timeline for you or anything like that. It is something the president remains committed to. As maybe we've talked about in the past, I can't remember. He obviously wants it to be representative of our country, and I think that'll be reflective at the appropriate point in time. In terms of the Judicial Commission, I don't have a timeline on that for you either. Go ahead.
All right, two questions, including one from people who can't be here today.
Sure.
First of all, just on the border, right at the start of the administration, when President Biden signed executive orders overturning President Trump's orders and so on, I mean, with hindsight, does he regret not speaking more clearly and more forcefully, saying, do not come to the border? Well, was a message sent that President Biden's America would be more welcoming?
We've been conveying the messages that I have just conveyed from the beginning. Did you have a second question?
President Obama is taking part, I think, within the next hour in an event with Protect Our Care, talking about the Affordable Care Act. Has he? The question is, has he visited the White House yet, or indeed, are there any? Do you know how often he has spoken to President Biden, and are there any plans for him to take part in advocacy at administration events going forward?
Well, I will say, having a unique view of this question, they were not just president and vice president. They are friends, and they consult and talk about a range of issues. I would expect that continues through the course of President Biden's presidency. That can be done over the phone, it turns out. And I think if President Obama had been here, you would all know he's a recognizable figure. But I expect, given former President Obama's work on the Affordable Care Act, President Biden's commitment to expanding access to health care throughout his presidency, that it's an issue they'll talk about. But in terms of what he'll be involved in, I would point you to his team. Eric Schultz, I can give you his phone number if you need it.
Do you know how many times they've spoken since Inauguration Day?
I don't have an exact number for you. They keep in regular touch, and our teams are in regular touch about a range of issues. Go ahead in the back.
Thanks, Jen. First off, before I get to my other questions, just checking on the president. He fell going up the steps to Air Force One on Friday. Is he doing okay?
He's 100% fine. I don't know if you've been up those steps. They're a little tricky sometimes, but he's
not on
doing
Air Force
great.
One. I've not been up those. Then, did he see a doctor? Did he have to see a doctor over it?
I'm not aware of that being required. There's, of course, a doctor who travels with the president, any president of the United States, but I'm not aware of it needing actual extensive medical attention.
Okay, great. And then on the border, of course.
Was it no? Yeah. Well, I'm not trying to be. There's a doctor who travels with him. He was walking around, as you all saw, by the end of the day. So I'm just trying to be completely transparent. He's absolutely fine, as he was on Friday, was this weekend. He spent the weekend at Camp David. He's good. Go ahead.
Okay. On the border, you said a few times today that the majority of migrant families are turned away. DHS said last month that number was 42%. That's down significantly from, say, last October when it was over 90%. So what's your threshold for the majority?
The majority of people, families, everybody who comes to the border, if you look at those overarching numbers, is turned away. DHS is the right authority for specific numbers and data on all that front, so I'd certainly encourage you to keep talking to them.
So also you are opening up new facilities. One of the options that's being reported over the weekend is spending $86 million on hotel rooms for some migrants and feeding them. How do you square that with the National Guard troops who were sleeping in parking garages and, some of them got sick from having contaminated food? That's a disparity a lot of people are pointing out, that our National Guard was treated one way and then illegal immigrants are going to be put in hotel rooms.
Well, first, let me say that at the time when we became aware of the conditions, National Guard troops were in parking garages, as you noted. The president called the head of the National Guard that day and offered his assistance, offered to play any role that he could play, boosting morale, asking for more aid, making sure they had the right, were treated in the way that they deserved for the incredible role they've played. So I know that was some time ago, but that was the reaction he took at the time.
If I may, one more on Rachel Levine. Her confirmation has gotten a lot of opposition from Republicans, specifically about the COVID nursing home scandal. She's implicated in Pennsylvania for signing a directive on May 18th while taking her own mother out of the nursing home. There was only 12,000 senior deaths. That's half of the deaths, COVID deaths in Pennsylvania. This is the same scandal that Cuomo is facing in New York. And the governor in Pennsylvania is under investigation. So why does your administration feel that Rachel Levine should get a pass on this and get such a high official position at the Health and Human Services Department?
I'd have to look into more specifics of the detail here. It does not sound at all to me like that her scenario is similar to the scenario in New York, but we'll follow up with you if we have more to offer. Go ahead in the back.
Thank you. Just first to follow up on Alex's question about the remarks to the Senate Democratic Caucus tonight. Is there a reason why the press pool was allowed into the remarks to the House Democratic Caucus, and that is not the plan for the Senate Democrats? Was that something that was a White House decision or something that Senator Schumer and company decided?
I'm happy to check on the access question. I certainly know that you guys like to have access to these these events. I will check and see what's possible.
And then a question on a foreign policy topic, which I think you're familiar with through the years. Senator Menendez is leading a group of senators who are pushing for the White House to recognize the events of the Armenian genocide as a genocide rather than as atrocities of some general form. Is there any update on the planning on that?
We're certainly aware of Senator Menendez's efforts, but I don't have any update on our policy. Go ahead in the back.
Yeah, President Biden said yesterday that he regrets Turkey's withdrawal from the Istanbul Convention concerning violence against women. Is it to say that he has no capacity to make the difference on values with this ally?
That President Biden has no capacity? Certainly, we hope that's not the case. Turkey is a long-standing and valued NATO ally. We've shared interest in countering terrorism, ending the conflict in Syria, and deterring malign influence in the region. We seek cooperation with Turkey on common priorities, and as with any ally, engage in dialogue to address disagreements, as this was a case and evidence of. Okay, two more, and then I gotta go. Go ahead.
Dr. Walensky in the briefing
Yeah.
just now raised a warning. There's cases are starting to tick up again. Of course, we're seeing footage of people outside, big parties, et cetera. Governors have been lifting measures. Is the White House, is the president concerned that we're going to have a new wave in the U.S. before vaccinations get in arms? Is this a question of the trajectory we're on or could be on?
Well, I'd certainly defer to our health and medical experts, including Dr. Walensky, but I think one of the messages she has been sending very consistently as the head of the CDC is that we need to remain vigilant, and this is not over. We are still at war with the virus. 1,400 people are still dying every day. That requires mask wearing. It requires hand washing. It requires social distancing. It requires getting a vaccine when you have access. And we are going to use every opportunity to continue to convey that. And we understand as human beings that people are starting to feel better. The weather's warmer. There's toilet paper on the shelves, whatever it may be. But if we are going to get to the point of defeating this virus, we need to remain vigilant. So I think it's a reflection of that, and I would certainly defer to them on any predictions of the trajectories. But as you noted, we've seen in the data that we've seen an uptick in some places, and we wanted to reiterate that given the opportunity.
Speaking with mayors or governors, asking them to hold off on lifting restrictions like we've seen in other places?
Well, Jeff Zients has a weekly call with governors that takes place every Tuesday. The president also engages with a range of elected officials, and I am certain he will convey exactly that message when he speaks publicly about this issue again.
You said that you were finalizing details for press access on these border issues. Can you commit to that happening this week? And since the administration, the president's brief, lots of different people at different staff
Yeah.
levels have access to many kinds of photos, can you provide, although we would prefer independent press coverage, can
Yeah.
you provide photos to show the public now so we can have more than relying on the congressional delegation?
Well, we're working on independent press coverage. We believe that that should happen and that should be the case. And I don't pull the levers here. I wish I was that all powerful. I am not. But I can just reiterate our commitment to transparency. And I certainly hope to have an update for you very soon. But I can't give you a deadline on that.
But photos you already have possession of could be shared with the public. Why not?
Well, we're going to give you access to the facilities so that the press can have access themselves. Thank you, everyone, so much.
Thank you.